Here is a kingdom unlike any other. It is a vast tapestry of green and gold. Great rivers, like the Loire and the Seine, flow slowly through the land. They carry life to the fields and forests. The air is filled with the sound of birdsong. The hum of bees can be heard in meadows thick with wildflowers. This land is rich. Its soil is dark and fertile. It yields bountiful harvests, season after season. The people who work this land are numerous. They are a part of the landscape itself, their lives tied to its rhythms. The forests are deep and ancient. Sunlight struggles to reach the forest floor. Here, ancient oaks stand like silent guardians. They have watched over this land for centuries. The sound of a woodcutter's axe echoes in the distance. It is a sign of human life, intertwined with the wild. In the clearings, deer graze peacefully. They are cautious, their ears twitching at every sound. This is a world of quiet, watchful life, a world of deep roots and slow, steady growth. It is a kingdom blessed by nature. Along the coasts, the rhythm changes. The gentle hum of the countryside gives way to the crash of ocean waves. The air tastes of salt. Fishing boats with colorful sails dot the horizon. They return at dusk, their nets heavy with the sea's bounty. The cliffs stand tall against the endless blue. They are a rugged barrier, a testament to the power of the sea and the resilience of the land. The people here are hardy. Their faces are weathered by the sun and the wind. They live by the tides. This kingdom is a mosaic of landscapes, from the snow-capped peaks of the Alps to the sun-drenched fields of Provence. Each region has its own character, its own unique beauty, yet they are all part of one great whole. The people are many, more numerous than in any other realm in this part of the world. They are farmers, merchants, fishermen, and artisans. Together, they form a powerful, vibrant nation. A giant sleeping peacefully in the heart of the continent. But even the deepest sleep can be disturbed. The old king is gone. The direct line has ended. The great tree of the monarchy has lost its central branch. A stillness falls over the kingdom. It is an unnatural quiet. A quiet filled with uncertainty and fear. In the grand halls of Paris, nobles gather in hushed groups. They speak in low voices. Their words are like the rustling of dry leaves, carrying whispers of a coming storm. Who will wear the crown? Who will guide this great and powerful realm? The question hangs heavy in the air. Across the narrow sea, another king watches. He too has a claim to this throne. His claim is written in blood and marriage vows from generations past. It is a claim that many believe to be strong. From his island kingdom, he looks across the water at the rich green lands. He sees not just a beautiful country, but a prize to be won. His ambitions are as vast as the ocean that separates the two realms. He begins to gather his armies. The sound of hammering fills his shipyards. A new terrible wind is beginning to blow. Back in France, the land remains beautiful. The sun still warms the fields. The rivers still flow to the sea. But a shadow is creeping across the landscape. People look to the horizon with uneasy eyes. They hear rumors of English ships and English soldiers. The dispute is not just between two men. It is between two great houses, two powerful nations. The very identity of the kingdom is at stake. Is it to be ruled by the House of France or the House of England? The choice will not be made with words. The air grows colder. The sense of dread deepens. The nobles of France are divided. Some support the French claimant, their own kinsman. Others are tempted by the promises of the English king. Loyalties are tested. Alliances shift like sand. The kingdom, once so strong and united, begins to fracture from within. The sleeping giant is stirring, but it is waking to a nightmare. A conflict is brewing that will last not for a season or a year, but for a lifetime, and another after that. The war begins. It is not one single glorious battle. It is a slow, grinding conflict, a series of brutal encounters, separated by years of tense, fragile peace. The fields of France, once so green and peaceful, become theaters of war. The sound of birdsong is replaced by the clash of steel and the cries of men. English armies march across the land. They are skilled and ruthless. They bring with them a new kind of warfare. The age of the noble knight is ending. The age of the common foot soldier and the deadly longbow has begun. France suffers terrible losses. At great battles, the flower of French nobility is cut down. The kingdom is like a great oak, struck by lightning again and again. It loses its strongest branches. The land itself begins to suffer. Fields are burned. Villages are looted. The wandering soldiers, belonging to no one and everyone, are a plague upon the land. They take what they want: food, livestock, anything of value. They are like wolves, preying on the weak and the defenseless. The people are caught between the armies and the bandits. Then comes a new horror. It travels on ships, with the rats. It spreads through the air, from person to person. It is the plague. A black shadow that falls across the entire continent. It does not distinguish between rich and poor, English and French. It takes everyone. The towns and cities become places of death. The streets are empty. The only sound is the ringing of the church bells, tolling for the dead. The population, already weakened by war and famine, is decimated. It seems as if the world is ending. The kingdom is on its knees. It has lost its leaders, its soldiers, and its people. The English now control vast swathes of French territory. Their king is even crowned in Paris. The heart of the kingdom now beats to an English drum. Hope is a distant memory. The people pray for a miracle. They look to the heavens for a sign. But the heavens are silent. The land lies broken and bleeding. It is a realm in name only. A collection of contested lands, ruled by fear and despair. In the darkest hour, a light appears. It is not the light of a king or a great general. Instead, it is the light of a young maiden, a peasant girl from a small forgotten village. She claims to hear the voices of saints. They have given her a mission: to drive the English out of France and to see the true French king crowned. At first, no one believes her. She is young, she is a woman, she is a peasant. But, she has a fire in her eyes, a conviction that simply cannot be denied. She travels to the court of the beleaguered French prince. He is hesitant, but honestly, he is also desperate. So, he agrees to give her a chance. She is given armor and a banner. She rides at the head of the French army. The soldiers who have known only defeat look at her with awe. She is something new, something pure. She does not fight for land or for glory. She fights for France. Her belief is contagious. It spreads through the ranks like wildfire. Hope, long dormant, begins to stir. The tide begins to turn. A great city, under siege for months, is liberated in a matter of days. It is a stunning victory. A miracle, really. The English are bewildered. They have never faced an enemy like this. The French soldiers fight with a new courage. They are no longer just fighting for a wage. They are fighting for their home. They are fighting for the maiden. They follow her into battle, and they win. Victory follows victory. The path to the coronation city is cleared. The true king is crowned. The ceremony is a powerful symbol, a declaration that France is still France, that it will not be conquered. The maiden has fulfilled her promise. Her work is done. Her story, though it ends in tragedy for her, has changed the course of history. She has reminded the French people of who they are. She has given them a reason to fight. The kingdom, once on the brink of extinction, has been pulled back from the abyss. The long, slow process of healing can now begin. The wars are over. A deep peace settles over the land. The fields, scarred by battle, are plowed once more. The sound of construction replaces the clash of swords. Towns and villages, ruined by conflict, are rebuilt. The kingdom is slowly, carefully, piecing itself back together. It is stronger now, more unified. The long struggle has forged a new sense of identity. The people are no longer just Burgundians or Normans or Gascons. They are French. The land itself seems to breathe a sigh of relief. From the south, across the mountains, a new wind is blowing. It comes from Italy, and it carries with it new ideas, new ways of seeing the world. It is the Renaissance, the rebirth of art, of learning, of culture. French kings who once marched into Italy as conquerors now bring back its treasures. They invite Italian artists and architects to their courts. They build magnificent chateaux along the Loire River. These are not castles built for war. They are palaces built for pleasure, for beauty, for life. The spirit of the Renaissance spreads throughout the kingdom. It is a time of great creativity. Artists learn the secrets of perspective, making their paintings come alive. Sculptors create works of breathtaking beauty. Writers and poets explore the richness of the French language. The invention of the printing press allows these new ideas to spread faster than ever before. Knowledge is no longer the exclusive property of the church or the nobility. It is available to a wider audience. A new kind of hunger awakens in the people, a hunger for learning. The landscape of France is transformed. The new chateaux, with their elegant gardens and sparkling fountains, are symbols of this new age. They speak of a kingdom that is not only powerful, but also cultured and sophisticated. The nation looks outwards. Ships set sail for new, undiscovered lands. They bring back strange new plants, exotic animals, and tales of distant civilizations. The world is suddenly much larger, much more complex than anyone had ever imagined. France is not just reborn, it is reinvented. The unity is fragile. A new division appears. This time, it is not about land or crowns. It is about faith. A powerful movement for religious reform sweeps across Europe. It challenges the old ways, the old certainties. It splits the Christian world in two. In France, the new ideas find fertile ground. Many embrace the Reformed faith. They are called Huguenots. But many more remain loyal to the old Catholic traditions. The kingdom is once again divided against itself. The division turns violent. The conflict is bitter and personal. It pits neighbor against neighbor, family against family. The arguments of theologians give way to the swords of soldiers. Massacres stain the streets of Paris and other cities with blood. The violence is savage, fueled by religious fervor and political ambition. For decades, the kingdom is torn apart by these wars of religion. It is a time of terrible suffering, a time when faith, which should bring comfort, brings only pain and death. The soul of the nation is scarred. Amid the chaos, there are voices calling for peace, for tolerance. They argue that people should be allowed to worship as they see fit, that the kingdom can be home to more than one faith. This is a radical idea. For centuries it was believed that a kingdom must have one king, one law, and one faith. The idea that two religions could coexist peacefully seems impossible to many. Yet, the endless cycle of violence proves that the alternative is even worse. The search for peace becomes a search for a new way of living together. A new king comes to the throne. He was once a Huguenot himself, but he converts to Catholicism to unite the kingdom. He understands the pain of religious division better than anyone. He issues a famous edict. It grants a measure of freedom and security to the Huguenots. It is not perfect. It does not end all the tension. But it is a start. It is a promise that the killing can stop, that France can be a home for all its children, regardless of their faith. The kingdom, once again, chooses unity over division. The kingdom is at peace. Strong rulers have brought stability. The nobles, once so rebellious, are now tamed. They are drawn away from their fortified castles in the countryside. They are brought to the court, a court that grows ever more magnificent, ever more splendid. It becomes the center of the nation's life, the sun around which all the planets of the nobility must revolve. Power is no longer measured in land or armies, but in proximity to the king. A new kind of monarchy is born. It is absolute. A grand palace is built. It is more than a palace. It is a world unto itself. A vast, glittering stage for the performance of power. Miles of formal gardens stretch out from its walls. Fountains shoot water high into the air. Inside, a hall of mirrors reflects the light of 1,000 candles. Here, the king presides over a court of breathtaking luxury. Life is a constant ritual, a non-stop performance of etiquette and ceremony. It is designed to awe, to impress, to make the king's power visible to all. French culture becomes the envy of the world. The French language is the language of diplomacy, of art, of sophisticated society. French fashion, French food, French philosophy, they are all admired and imitated across the continent. The nation's artists and writers produce works of timeless genius. Theaters are full. The cities are vibrant centers of commerce and culture. The kingdom is at the height of its power and prestige. It seems that the sun will never set on this golden age. But beneath the glittering surface, there are tensions. The cost of the palace, the wars, the endless luxury is immense. It is paid for by the ordinary people, the peasants in the fields, the artisans in the towns. They look at the splendor of the court, and they see a world that is completely separate from their own. The gap between the rich and the poor, between the powerful and the powerless, grows wider. The sun shines brightly on the palace, but in the shadows, new ideas are taking root. Ideas of liberty, of equality. The stage is set for a new and perhaps even more dramatic transformation.